You think you've had a messy breakup? Try being Anne Boleyn, where your husband does not just move on, he removes you entirely and remarries before the court has even finished whispering your name. It is efficient, ruthless, and practically a hobby for Henry VIII. Anne is executed on May 19th, a single clean stroke, and just like that, England exhales. And Henry? Oh, he waits. Of course he waits. A whole 10 days. Not even enough time for the black morning gowns to be properly tailored before he's slipping a ring onto Jane Seymour, like a man who has a calendar to keep and absolutely no patience. Now, I was at the Crooked Crown, strictly for research, when Lord Thorn stumbled in, smelling faintly of ale and poor judgment. He leans in and whispers, "The king is devastated, they say." I stared at him as one might stare at a man who has just tried to drink from a candle. "Devastated," I said. "He's already redecorating the throne room and calling it a fresh start." Lord Thorn nodded gravely, then asked if Jane Seymour was the quiet one with the face. I do not know how I endure him. Jane, however, she understands the assignment. Oh, she has read the room, the king, and quite possibly the execution schedule. Where Anne was fire, Jane is a still pond with secrets at the bottom. Where Anne dazzled like a chandelier at full blaze, Jane politely dims herself like a candle that knows it's not the main event. She speaks softly, agrees swiftly, and above all, she lives to see another morning, which, in this court, is less a personality trait and more an Olympic sport. For a time. Because Jane is not here to enchant, she is not here to spar, and she is not here to have opinions that might get her escorted to the tower in a very final sort of way. No, Jane is here with a singular glowing purpose. Produce the air, and do it without so much as raising an eyebrow. And Henry? Oh, well, suddenly he is devotion wrapped in velvet. Attentive, gentle, practically tender, which is deeply unsettling if you've been watching his track record like the rest of us. Because this time, he is convinced he is chosen correctly. No arguments, no sharp tongue, no inconvenient intelligence fluttering about the room. Just a quiet queen, and an expectation so loud it could rattle the crown off her head. And then, at last, it happens. After the marriages, the accusations, the very enthusiastic use of the executioner's block, England finally gets what it has been clawing toward like a cat at a silk curtain. A prince! At last! Edward VI arrives, small, fragile, and instantly the most valuable creature in the entire kingdom. A tiny squalling bundle who has, quite accidentally, secured the future of a dynasty and justified an alarming amount of chaos. The cannons roar, the bells ring. The entire realm erupts like someone just announced free wine for life. Oh, and Henry, he beams, positively glows, like a man who has finally won a game he very nearly burned the board to ashes to play. The court rejoices and the kingdom celebrates. And Jane has done exactly what she was brought in to do. Perfectly. But here is the part they do not stitch into their pretty little tapestries. Whilst the kingdom is drowning in celebration, Jane is quietly slipping beneath the surface. At first, it is subtle, a whisper of weakness, a hush in the corridors. And then it is everything all at once. The triumph softens. The laughter fades. The same court that scrambled for jewels and wedding silks now rummages for black fabric and somber faces, as if they've rehearsed this particular routine before, which, inconveniently, they have. Jane Seymour dies mere days after delivering Henry the one thing he desired above all else, a son, paid for in full, with her life. And just like that, the quiet queen who survived by saying nothing becomes another story told in whispers, whilst the court carries on, as it always does. Now I returned to the Crooked Crown not long after, and even Lord Thorn seemed subdued, though that may have been the result of attempting to sit on a stool that was very clearly not there. The king must be heartbroken this time, he muttered. And for once, he may not be entirely wrong, because Jane is the only wife Henry chooses to be buried beside. Not Anne, not the others who will follow. Jane, the one who gave him everything and did not live to see what it would cost. So what have we learned, my darlings? That in the court of Henry VIII, love is fleeting, power is everything, and survival is always temporary. Anne burned bright and was extinguished. Jane endured and was consumed all the same. And Henry simply turns the page. So raise your glass to queens who rise, to queens who fall, and to the dangerous illusion that doing everything right will save you. Now, my dears, as always, remember to keep your crown straight and your head attached.